Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to another Wild Rift video. And in today's video I want to introduce a new player to you guys that is going to be showcasing his gameplay on this YouTube channel, and it's going to be Zelus. And I'm going to talk a lot more about him during the gameplay. I just want to say right now, this is one of the most incredible players that I have ever seen that ever plays Wild Rift. It is unbelievable how good he is. So I'll tell you more about him during the gameplay, but it's just gonna be crazy. First, I'm gonna explain to you guys how to build Yone, which is gonna be today's gameplay. This is my build, by the way. I wonder how he builds it, but this is what I recommend on Yone, because I actually got pretty good at Yone myself. You know what's funny? I would have uploaded a Yone gameplay for myself, but then Zelus sent me his Yone gameplay, and of course I have to upload his, right? Like, because he's obviously 10 times better at Yone than I am. So, I actually mastered, well, kinda mastered Yone as well before this video, which is gonna make this a perfect video, right? So the way that I like to build Yone is generally I started with a Solari charge bait. However, because now it's tank meta, you want to start with Blade of the Rune King if you're against a lot of tanks. It's a really good item to go for. Blade of the Rune King is a really good item to go for on Yone, because your first ability is gonna apply on hit effects as well. So like if you're against tanks like a Scion, Garen, even a Riven, Blade of the Rune King is generally going to be much better than starting off with the Solari charge bait. However, Solari is either going to be your first item or your second item. And then for your third item, you want to get another crit item. Generally, I would recommend Infinity Edge for maximum damage. However, you can also go for Bloodthirster if you want a little bit more sustainability. But I really recommend you to go for the Infinity Edge. And then here's where the fun begins. The Amaranth Wingard. This item is so broken that you basically build it as your fourth item. However, if you're against a full AD composition, I actually recommend you to go... Oh, the Death Stance right there. I actually recommend you to go for Death Stance instead of the Amaranth Wingard, because Death Stance Guardian Angel against a heavy AD composition is going to make you unkillable against them. Another item that's really good in the current meta is the Divine Sunderer. So you can skip out the Amaranth Wingard or like get an Amaranth Wingard as your last item, and then instead you get a Divine Sunderer if you're really against a lot of high HP enemies, a lot of high HP tanks like Mundo, for example. Because Divine Sunderer is also a really good item on Yone. And yeah, if you have a slot, you go for Guardian Angel, right? Like that's basically going to be your last item if you have a slot left. For the boots, you want to go for Mercury Sweats, very likely Mercury Sweats, because when you use your third ability, you don't want to get chain CC'd to death. Like that's a big problem when you play Yone. You go in with your third ability. Of course, you can go back. But if you get chain CC'd and you get one shot, you cannot go back, right? So Mercury Sweats essentially allows you to pretty much always go back, because there's no way in hell they're going to chain CC you to death when you have Mercury Sweats. The tenacity is probably going to be enough for you. Stasis is great, and if they really have a lot of CC, you can go for QSS. Protobelt, I actually also like Protobelt. Like, it allows you to really engage on the enemies from very far away, because you can already use your tornado to get close, you can use your third ability to get close, you can use your flash to get close, and then you can also use a Protobelt to get close. So essentially the enemies are never going to be safe if you get a Protobelt. For the runes, I love to go for lethal tempo. I think this is what everyone goes for in Yone, but this is what I go for. Here, Sudden Impact is really nice against squishies, because every time you use your third ability or your tornado or your ultimate, you're gonna apply you're gonna turn on Sudden Impact, and you're gonna get the bonus armor penetration, which is really nice. Giant Slayer against a lot of tanks, but like I pretty much always go Sudden Impact. I've also seen some Yone players go for Triumph. It can be good. Hunt the Vampirism, I actually don't really recommend Hunt the Vampirism as much. I don't know, I just don't feel like it's that good on Yone. And the reason that I don't think it's that good, by the way, is because Yone does like a mixed damage. He does attack damage and magic damage. Like every second attack, he does 50% magic damage. So when you get a lot of attack damage vampirism, it's not going to be as efficient, right? So that's why I was also hesitant about the Bloodthirst. If you really want vampirism, get the boots of vampirism instead, because those give you omni-vamp, so vampirism on everything, even the true damage your third ability does. For the third item, you want to go for Bone Plating. Again, it's really all about not getting one-shotted, so Bone Plating is going to be very powerful. And if you're playing in the jungle, Mastermind is great, because Yone takes dragons and barons and all of that pretty fast. So Mastermind is going to make you even faster. For the spells, you go for Flash and Smite. So that is it about the build. Let's now get into the gameplay. So let's talk about this player, guys. Let's talk about Zelus, who is the new, who is a new player who's sending me gameplay. First, I want to mention that regarding the skin giveaway, waiting for my computer. And there is a new skin giveaway this month, so you can put down a comment under the video if you want to enter. But let's talk about this player real quick, because when I remember I tweeted that I was looking for players to send me gameplays, and I'm not even joking with you guys. Probably 100 people reached out to me, right? Like probably, I would say around 100, maybe even 150 people, probably even more actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because I still get daily people messaging me on Discord, right? So I really picked the best of the best. Right? Like I had these three people: Andres, Set, Lonely Kid, and Trust. But then like, you know, I sometimes I just check out Twitch streamers because I really don't like a lot of the Wild Rift. I don't know. I don't like a lot of the Twitch streamers. I just don't feel like they're very good. And me personally, I can only really watch players that are better than me. So it was really, really hard for me to enjoy Wild Rift streams. But like I can only really watch pro players. So then I was like, okay, you know what? I don't have to watch English streams. So I checked out Spanish streams. I checked out Italian streamers. I checked out every language. And then I came across this guy named Zelus. So I checked out his stream. And he was playing Zed. And what I was seeing him do was just unbelievable. So like I was like, wait, that could have been a lucky game. Like, how do I not know this player? And then I think he picked Yone. Or he picked Darius. Sorry, he picked Darius. And he destroyed the enemy. I was like, okay, wow, okay. And then he picked Yone and he did the exact same thing. And then that's when I really realized, okay, this is an absolutely incredible player. So I said hello in the chat. You know, I kind of introduced myself. And then I realized Zelus had reached out to me as well a couple weeks ago, telling me, hey, Els, I would love to make some gameplay for the channel. And I think the viewers would love it. And then I was like, hey, you know what? Yes, the viewers would love it. So we talked a little bit. And by the way, if you do want to check out Zelus, I put all of his links in the description. I heavily recommend you to check out his Twitch. And his Twitch is Arabic, by the way. He speaks Arabic during his streams. I know I have a lot of Arabic viewers. So if you've ever looked for a Twitch streamer or like a streamer to watch that speaks Arabic, Zelus is the perfect one. There are more, by the way, but Zelus is definitely the best one. Even if you don't speak Arabic, just put him on and just enjoy the gameplay. Like, I would definitely compare him to Andres Set level. I would say Andres Set is better, but this is the closest you're ever gonna get to like the best of the best. He's definitely a top 3 player. I would definitely say top 3 or top 5. I would say he's a top 5 player in Europe just by watching him play. That's how unbelievably good he is. So now enough talking about all of that. Let's actually talk about the gameplay and see what's happening. So he's playing Yone jungle, which is a role that got popular very recently. You know, Yone in the jungle, because everyone used to play Yone in the mid lane. Then some people would play him in the Baron lane, but now people are playing him in the jungle as well. So a few important things about Yone jungle is his ganking is not that good, except for this one combo. So I was gonna say, his ganking, you can struggle with the ganking, right? Like if you get close to a lane, hitting your ultimate without any CC is quite hard. You know, you don't really have like a lot of dashes unless you have the tornado. So that's one important thing you need to know and need to utilize when you play Yone. This was essentially the perfect gank, but somehow, some way, Senna ultimate saved the enemies and he didn't even get a kill. But that gank right there was perfect because with Yone, hitting your ultimate is not always easy. However, when you knock up enemies with your first ability, you can always 100% guaranteed hit them for free. Unless, of course, they get like okay, it happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us. What can I say? But what I was talking about is, unless the enemy gets like Morgana shielded or Veal or something like that, you are always gonna hit your ultimate after the knockup. Always. Because the knockup duration doesn't get reduced by tenacity, of course. And it is just long enough for you to be able to instantly ult the enemy right after you knock them up. And this is probably the most important combo for Yone, which is knocking up enemies with your first ability and then instantly ulting them. And let me give you some more advice on how you can hit that very easily. You don't even have to aim your ultimate. Like, he aims it, he's aiming it. And here you can see, like, I'm gonna go back into the video. Every time he's ganking, you can clearly see he's utilizing his third ability and the first ability. Look, the tornado, and when you knock up the enemy, here you can see it, right when the cooldown, like, you can actually, I want you guys to pay attention to the timer. Look at the timer of the tornado. He instantly ults, but look, the enemy is airborne. You see, the timer is at like 0.1 seconds. So essentially, if the airborne duration was like 0.1 seconds shorter, the enemy Lux could have flashed away, right? Like she would have saved it. But Riot has made Yone in a certain way, which makes a lot of sense, where the first ability Tornado is just enough time for you to knock up the enemy 100% accuracy with your ultimate. So all you have to do is just hit enemies with your Tornado and knock them up like that. So it's gonna be hard. Like getting into Yone jungle, I'm gonna tell you guys, it's gonna be very, very hard for you to manage your first ability like that. Because obviously when you use your first ability twice, you only really have like 5 seconds to use the tornado. So you really only have 5 seconds to gank, right? So it's really hard. It's really hard. You have to be able to get close to the enemy and manage your first ability properly, so you can actually gank with the tornado and then follow up with your ultimate. Because that's the whole power of Yone jungle, right? Like those ganks are very, very powerful. And nice smite right there. Very nice smite. Just clean. He doesn't have his ultimate yet, so he does want to be a little bit careful. Is he really gonna push the mid lane? I mean, okay, I really don't like when junglers take mid lane because he literally loses 60% of the gold. However, you can see he shoved the wave under the enemy turret, so he did make Lux lose like 2 minions, which is essentially gonna be worth him taking it. So now he's gonna try to gank without his tornado. And you can see exactly, it's much harder. Like it's much, okay, there you go. They barely got the kill. But here you can see the difference, right? Like if you gank without the tornado, the enemy is just gonna dodge your ultimate. They're either gonna dodge it or they're gonna flash out of it. So I'm really trying to make you guys understand that Zelus is making it look easy, but ganking with Yone is really, really hard. Really hard. Like one of the hardest champions to gank with properly. He tried to save his tornado maybe for bot lane, but it was a little bit too early. I think he could have actually killed the Jax possibly if he managed his tornado a little bit better. But it's already incredibly hard to do that properly, right? So you can't really blame him for that. I actually think it could have possibly been better if he put the Herald in the bot lane. Well, you know what? The bot lane is full HP. If the bot lane was a little bit lower, he could have put the Herald in the bot lane, gotten the tower and killed the Jax. But because the tower is very high HP, I think he actually couldn't have taken it, now that I'm thinking about it. But like generally when you take Herald, you'll want to go for mid lane turret, right? But there are some occasions where taking the side lane turrets is going to be much more rewarding than taking mid lane. Much, much more rewarding. And let me tell you a few of them. First of all, if the enemy is taking dragon, you can apply a lot of pressure on the opposite side. You can even take 2 turrets if like all of the enemies are taking dragon. With a herald, you can definitely take 2 turrets early on in the game. Secondly, if the enemy turret is at like 1.6, 1.7k HP, you can one-shot it with the herald. And let's say the enemy mid lane turret is at full HP. And let's say the enemy Baron laner is under their turret, you can then put the Herald on the side lane turret and kill the enemy as well. It is better to get a kill and a side lane turret than to just get a mid lane turret. Okay, he does it again. Look, he does it again. He does it again. He does it again. It looks so easy. It looks so easy when he... But like, where did he even come from? Like, where did he even come from? So he tornadoes here. I see. He's managing it in a way where he last hits it with his first ability. So he has just enough time, uses the red plant, and then barely makes it. Oh my god. And it just does it like it's nothing. He even used I don't know what they're called, the ones that make you jump further. So he could make it to the Jax, knocks him up with the tornado, and then instantly ults him. Because of course your ult will always hit like that. So good actually. That is just beautiful. Wow. There's no way he can gank this, by the way. He needs his ultimate for this gank. There's no way he can gank it without his ultimate. He could possibly even try to invade right here. It seems like he's actually interested in ganking though. He doesn't have his ultimate yet. But there are 3 of his teammates close. Let's see what happens. They know he's here. Oh, this is dangerous. Now he has his ultimate. But he doesn't have his third ability. Exactly. Like, oh, wait, you can do that? Wait, what? I actually didn't know you could do that. If you get stunned, right before the stun, you can use your ultimate and it will go through it. Holy moly, I actually didn't know that was possible. That's pretty crazy. I actually didn't know that was possible. Wow. Even I'm learning things while watching this. Interesting, but because your ultimate doesn't make you unstoppable, it's basically like Ezreal's ultimate, right? Like where even if you get stunned, you're gonna shoot it through. I think that's how it works. Like even if you get stunned, you are gonna do the ultimate anyways. It's not like a cancelable ultimate. But it's weird that it doesn't say unstoppable if you don't get. Well, actually, you're not unstoppable because after your ult, you are still rooted. So it's different from being unstoppable. It's different. I don't think he got that minion, by the way. Wait. The minions, the jungle camps are giving him a harder time than these enemies, to be honest, guys. Oh! Ah, he didn't get it. But he's gonna kill him. No! That's what I... Like, without the tornado, it's so hard to hit it. Yeah, he dies because of it. Like, that's the thing with Yone. With the tornado is such a vital part of his kit. Like, such an important part of his kit. He actually does go for Bloodthirster. Interesting. He even goes for Bladed Kick, so he does go full Vampirism, Yone. He doesn't go for Vampirism Boots, though. But I told you guys the thing about Vampirism, right? Like, it is good on Yone, but you have to keep in mind, it's not 100% efficient, because you are partly doing magic damage. Like, essentially, like, between 15 and 20% of your damage is going to be magic damage. So, you have to keep that in mind. Let's see. Is he going to charge up his tornado again before he goes in? No, he's just clearing his jungle. The enemies have a lot of vision, but the Nautilus actually popped the vision plant so they can pop it. Now they can apply a lot of pressure on the enemy, by the way. This is a thing that I don't see often enough, which is people starting Dragon. Exactly. You see? So they're starting... Okay, this was just Giga Int. they're starting the Dragon. Now it's risky, but earlier it was a good move. The reason that it was a good move is because they are forcing the enemies to be proactive. They are forcing the enemies to get into an uncomfortable position, because when they start the dragon like that, you know, when Zelus still had his ultimate and everyone had their ultimates, they are essentially forcing the enemies to get into an uncomfortable position. They have to blindly face check the dragon, right? And that causes your team to have an advantage. So essentially, sometimes you're not starting the dragon to actually do the dragon. You're kind of starting the dragon to just bait the enemies into going in. Of course, if they don't go in, you're just gonna get the dragon, right? But often enough, people are gonna fall for it and they will go in and you're gonna kill them and get the dragon. So you're gonna get everything. So like, you know, especially if you have a stronger team, like if you are stronger in a team fight, you'll want to start dragons like that. Like you don't want to chunk them down all the way. You just want to start it and make the enemies go in. You know, it's even better if you use a sweeper. Because if you use a sweeper or a control ward, and you know that the enemies cannot actually see the dragon, that is even better to do it like that. Because then, of course, they have to go in blindly. Because if they have vision, right, then they'll know that they don't have to go in blindly. They're just going to go in to try to steal it. So then it takes away the whole point of it. So make sure you have a sweeper when you do that. Oh, by the way, fitness update. I forgot to talk about that for a while. Is because I'm going to be honest with you guys, for a whole week, I didn't really work out a lot. I lost 3 kilograms of muscle. I'm not eating well. So it is a very negative fitness update, but I suppose I have to give the bad ones as well as the good ones. And the reason that I'm not working out as much, wow, just wow, is because you know, I told you guys about it earlier. I'm a bit stressed out because of all the things that are going on. You know, this new sponsor stuff and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna talk about it now, but I guess I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting back into working out. Basically, I'm being a pussy. But that has to stop and I have to get back into it. Because there are no excuses, you know. Oh, that's a kill as well. I mean, look at that. Just so... It's so smooth. Like, it's just so smooth when you watch a good player play a champion like Yone. He's gonna catch him as well with the tornado. Exactly. Wow. Are they just gonna straight up end the game? I don't think they can end, though. Yeah, they can't end. No way. Oh my god, he gets that one as well. Wow. That's so dirty though. He just snatches away one more kill and then goes out. No, he doesn't leave them in peace. He leaves them in death. He leaves them and he just gets another kill with it, right? Just a little extra kill. He has 5,000. He has 5,000 gold in his pocket. You know, just the average game where you. That, by the way, this is a really good tip on how to play against Jax as a Yone. The move that he did right there is when Jax tries to stun you with his third ability, you as a Yone can just use your third ability to step out of his range and dodge it. However, keep in mind, Jax does have his first ability to follow you, so you'll want to try to use your third ability after Jax has already dashed with his first ability. If you do that, then he cannot catch you anymore unless he flashes towards you, but of course, you know, you can't really do anything against that. No, he's probably still gonna kill her. Yeah. Yeah, man, at this point, he's so strong. He's so ahead. He even has the armor on Twin Guard. Like, can you imagine if he went for another damaging item? He would have just straight up one-shotted that Senna. But now he's going to one-shot them. And he's going to be unkillable. With this combination of having a Twin Guard on Yone, you're going to be unkillable. Unkillable. It's crazy. Like, normally this would be a bit of a questionable item on Yone, but Amaran Twin Guard is so broken right now that it's still going to be viable on Yone. The reason that it's a bit questionable normally is because Yone likes to one-shot the enemies. You know, you tornado the enemy and then you one-shot them with your ultimate. So you're not really going to be utilizing your Amaran Twin Guard because, you know, it takes a few seconds for it to come online. But because the item is so unbelievably broken, you essentially become a sustained damage champion because he has Bloodthirster, Bladed Rune King. You know he's gonna have a lot of armor magic resist, so he has a lot of healing. That's gonna... He can just kill the Senna here. Oh, he auto-aimed. Look at what happened. He auto-aimed. It's funny. He auto-aimed, so it went on the lugs. But look at how tanky he is, man. He took 0 damage. He's not gonna die, is he? He is not gonna die. Like, look at this. How silly is that? Okay. He tanks the turret. This is Amaran Twin Guard, by the way, guys. Of course, he is very ahead as well, right? At this point in the game. But this is it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video with a new player. And again, you can check out his stream, his Twitter, and all the links that I've put in the description. Definitely check him out. Very cool guy. Very good at the game. And just overall a nice vibe on his content. So let's see how much damage he did and everything like that. I'm gonna guess that he did 38,000 damage. That's my guess. Better than 100% of Yone's, by the way. Yeah, I'm guessing 38,000 damage. Let's see. 33.5. I was close. I was close. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, new haircut, by the way. I also forgot to talk about it. I'm trying to grow my hair a little long. We'll talk about that during the next video. But yes, thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye-bye.